Okay, wow, it's been a minute since we've done a Lawyer Greg podcast on law and business. And to catch you up to speed, I have been taking care of myself, running, doing burpees. Robert's been doing the same thing. And we just ate a vegetarian meal. He got me to eat a vegetarian meal. And I've been working on the office and expanding, and we've been hiring, and we've been pushing. We've been very fortunate. It's been a great summer. Today is September 26th, 2018, right? So we're heading into fall here.
That's right.
And it's been a long, Wednesday, hump day? And we wanted to bring you some thoughts on personal networking. And specifically, we're working on the chapter of the book, which is called
Giving Value, Having Fun, and Giving Back.
Giving Value, Having Fun, and Giving Back. Okay?
Why aren't you doing it?
Right. Well, yeah. And I summed it up. Robert gave me the name of the chapter, and I said, personal networking, basically, right? So I think that most people are inherently bad at personal networking. Some people are bad at it. Some people are good at it. If you're really, really good at it, then it's really, really good for you. So how can you make it work for you? And what does it mean? I mean, to me, personal networking and sales are one and the same. I don't think as a lawyer you're doing much different there's a lot of strategy involved, but there's sales involved too, especially if you're in the courtroom. Right. I mean, you don't like that lawyers do not want to be called salespeople, right? Because they're too smart for that, and they went to school too long for that, right?
Yeah.
But really, what you're doing is when you're litigating something, there's strategy. But when you make it in front of a jury, there's a lot of sales there. There's control of the courtroom. There's presence. There's appearance. There's perception is reality. There is selling your side or your point to 12 people in a box. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And when I quit that stuff, and I used to be good at that, I still miss that. It is like a drug. There's no two better words in the English language, and I've said it a bunch, than the words not guilty. Mm-hmm. For a defense attorney. Because you're fighting the man, you're fighting the state, you're fighting the police, you're fighting everybody, all those resources. It's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Not guilty, you're done. Let's roll, let's walk, right? And you just,
it's a real,
pop your collar and walk out of the courtroom,
real ego
right?
boost.
Dude, it's ridiculous on your ego,
Yeah.
Losing's hard too.
Oh, sure.
I don't know how that feels though. No, I'm just kidding. So, but I mean, it's that's good, but I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that, There's negatives to that because you're just ridiculously emotionally invested with your client. If I could be a lawyer with a bad bedside manner, right? Mm-hmm. That's like, take these pills and do this, and we're going to do this surgery. I don't really want to talk to you, family. That kind of doctor,
right,
might be a great doctor, an amazing doctor with a bad personality, or purposely keeps their distance, right? I was never that kind of lawyer, though, right? Because I was all too emotionally involved, all the way around. When I was doing trial work, which tears on your soul after a while, okay?
And on your family, I'm sure it's...
Yeah. I mean, just as a result of being around you all the time, yeah. Being around me all the time, yeah. And it's true, it does wears on everyone. But taking that mentality, that realization, for me, I can tell you my journey was just saying, I love this. I love elder law. I love the estate planning part of it. I love the strategy. I love being able to do things that other people can't or won't or don't, and that knowledge. I love that problem solving. And it dawned on me one day that I could go put 20 people in a room that want to be educated on something, and instead of the DA being pissed at me over here, mm-hmm. and the judge being pissed at me over here, And the jury may be saying not guilty, but then having buyer's remorse afterwards and not being too thrilled either. And then my knucklehead client might be happy, right? But I might not be too happy about that either, you know? I don't know. But it's not necessarily a win-win. But I love the fact that it was a win-win helping a family save hard-earned money and property.
Right.
And that people needed to be educated on that. People wanted education on that. So no different than putting 12 people in a box, I was able to put 20 people in a room. And repeatedly, over and over again, talk to them about subjects that they wanted to hear about. And if they wanted to hire us, great. Around that, I built a system and I built a firm. And why don't other people do it?
I mean, how is this
But there's
practical?
more. There's more than just that. There's also a million different ready-made networking groups to go belong to. That you can belong to. B&I. Rotary is a great one. B&I is a great one too. Masonic lodges. Being on boards. Board of directors.
Okay.
For nonprofits. A great way to meet people, give back to the community, right? And our firm, right, being a little more selfish, self-full, working really hard, you know, allows you to also sponsor things, right? And use money to help organizations and people.
Right.
Which is great. It's a win-win for everyone. But it takes time and effort and patience. Most people will get burnt out on seminars very quickly if they give them. Because either they don't do it right or they hit one that's a dud and they spend out some money on it
Yeah.
and they quit. But it's like anything else. It works out over time. I've given seminars to a room of 150 people. I've given a seminar to one person at a church before. One person showed up. And the pastor.
But you kept going.
Yeah, everyone always keep going. And you keep a good attitude about it. Hey man, get them next time. Or maybe that one person tells somebody. Or maybe that one person needs business.
Yeah, I
Or
remember.
maybe
you
the
saying-
pastor's appreciative.
I remember you saying one of the worst seminars it wasn't the worst seminar as in a bad seminar, but it was the
I had
least
this seminar I
people
gave at the
turned
Cleveland
up.
Country Club.
That's right.
At a country club that 6 people turned out. We spent a decent amount of coin on that seminar. 6 people show up, and but it turns out to be an intimate environment. And I'm on my game, and I give a presentation, and I give it my all, and they appreciated it. And there's plenty of question and answer time to go around the room and talk about things one-on-one. So I developed, what's the point of having a seminar?
Give out a message, value.
To
So
create a bond with someone else. That's the whole point. To create a bond or trust with someone else. I would say the message is probably not the most important thing
Okay.
at all. I mean, obviously the message matters.
Mhm.
The most important thing is to build a trustworthy bond with someone else,
Yeah.
with the time that you get to spend with them, right? I mean, that's what's important. Shaking their hand afterwards, maybe before. Treating them well. Making them laugh.
About remembering people's names. How
Sure,
would that-
there's nothing people want. Well, that's in what? Is that Peter Drucker that wrote the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People? Anyway.
Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie. Yes, sorry. Dale Carnegie wrote that. And he said, there's nothing that people like more than hearing their own names.
Yeah. That's right.
Probably a true story. I'm sure.
What about having
So maybe
fun?
have name tags. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have name tags. That's a version.
Yeah, that would help.
And then, yeah, you want to have fun. You want to keep it light.
Having fun in business and fun doesn't quite seem to mesh. It doesn't
No, it's
seem
fun.
to.
It's
the
got to be
idea
fun.
of it,
It's
but-
got to be fun. Comedy is so blue ocean. There's truth to comedy. When you laugh, it's because you connect with something. You connect with someone. I would say there's probably no greater truth than making someone laugh, right? At someone seeing the humor in something.
Right. Right.
I mean, I like using just sarcasm, comedy, those things. It's going to be very revealing. And that's fun to connect with somebody on that level and in that way. And you're just expanding your bond with that person. I have found that the room full of 150 people is really horrible.
In what way?
Because I can't make a connection with 150 people at one time in an hour.
Yeah.
Not anything lasting or real. But give me 20 people or less. 12 is a great number. Same number of jurors, but yeah. 20 people or less, and you have time to make connections. And to really, really get some work done. And learn.
Well, I suppose that could be one of the reasons people don't think that they can give value, because they might think that without having 100, 200 people in an audience, it's not worth the bother. Doing 20 people here and there, they might think, well,
sure, they want to be Tony Robbins in
how
Packer
is that
Stadium.
going to be
They
effective?
want to be Tony Robbins in Packer Stadium.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, he, of course, didn't start that way. He started with 1 or 2 people.
No, he
here and
started
there.
with giving small seminars as many times a week as he could for a long time.
But then, for your area of business, having an audience of 5,000 suddenly turn up isn't going to be
Good.
as
I'll take him.
effective.
I'll take him 20 at a time.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome audience that I can see over the course of a year or two.
You want to really personalize it.
Yeah, you need to. If you want them to get something out of it, and you want to get something out of it, in my opinion. But we're talking about some complex legal subjects sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and real problems that people have, and they have questions sometimes.
And that whole thing comes back to the giving back idea also.
Who's giving the seminar? There's a good question. Who's giving the seminar?
Well, someone who has certainly an understanding of the subject that's been taught.
If I give a seminar, am I giving the seminar? Or are the people there giving the seminar?
What do you mean?
It's a good question. Don't worry, I'll bring it back. It's my seminar. I'm the speaker.
Yeah. You're the keynote?
Sure. But the people in the audience are giving the seminar. I'm just asking questions. If I do it right, and it'll be the best seminar they've ever attended.
You're bringing them on board.
And I'm delegating. And I'm making my job easier too. Because I'm using their brains to give the seminar. And I'm tailoring the seminar to them. So it's a specific experience that caters to what they need to hear.
Okay. I think I can grasp that.
And what are we talking about doing? Networking.
Yeah.
What is a network?
Community.
Okay. I picture it in a computer, like nodes, right? Like you're connecting, let's say if it's one computer to another, to another, to another. Maybe they're connected through a central server.
Right.
Right? Well, I want to connect with their head, with their brain. That's the connection. That's the network.
Mm-hmm.
It's my brain connected to these other brains.
Right.
Maybe I'm the server, right? And I'm just delegating out questions that I think that they need to process to their processors to mull over.
Oh, I see. And they're giving you they're feeding you information about how you can better serve them.
They're telling me how to.
Certain
They're telling me
aspects.
how to answer their questions. Well, they're giving me back the information that I need, the problem I need to solve.
Right. Right.
That's what communication is. That's what networking is. Networking is just as effective in a room full of 20 people with one person speaking as it is one-to-one networking out for a lunch. More effective if you're good at it. But the way you do that is by asking questions.
So why doesn't the majority of business owners out there do it? I mean, I know you said it takes a lot of commitment.
I'm not them. It takes time because you got to run a business. You got to figure out how to do it. It takes time and it takes effort.
You also mentioned beforehand.
Then you
before
get
we
busy.
started
You get
this-
busy over here. You don't have time to go do it. You got to figure it out.
You also mentioned before we started recording this that public speaking is a real fear for a lot of people.
It could
Doesn't
be the
matter
public
whether
speaking
they're-
element.
Doesn't matter whether they're CEOs or not, or business owners, they could still have that.
I'll say
fear.
this too. Everyone has different styles.
Mhm.
My style is to really know the material ahead of time because it's what I do.
Right.
And it's just what I do for a living, right? So I love to be prepared ahead of time, but maybe I have a PowerPoint that has a certain purpose or task, but I'm really not. The more I do it, the less dependent I am on a PowerPoint. I don't like them. They're constrictive. The more I have an agenda, a bullet point agenda in my head, maybe not written, but that I want to go through.
Mhm.
And I want to know who the audience is, right? Who's the audience?
Right.
And then through talking, giving examples, through laughter, through loosening the audience up, through interaction, through inspiring them to ask questions, through asking them questions,
Right.
it becomes a communication, a real communication. And I'm not doing all the work. I'm managing the seminar by delegating most of the work out to the people attending.
Right.
And then in response to their feedback, I'm answering their questions to a point. I don't want to spend too much time on one person and their issue and lose everybody else.
Yeah.
But if their issue is applicable to probably everyone else, it might be worth time, spending some time there. Or else it's a great segue to say, hey, we're getting too deep down that rabbit hole. Plus it's too personal in front of everyone. See me after. See Taylor at the table over there. She'll schedule you a free consult because you suffered through having to listen to me run my mouth today.
Right. Right. But giving back can also mean some other things. You sponsor. Who do you sponsor? You do sponsorships. You
Who
put
do we
money to
not
other
sponsor?
causes, that kind of thing.
Man, nonprofits are ruthless about handing out, asking for money, right? I'm involved with a number of causes and groups. Some of them that make sense to be involved in because it's good business.
Right.
Some of them are simply charitable things in the community that somehow I got wrapped up in and involved in and I love, right? But those give sponsorship opportunities where you can get your logo out there and you can sponsor a great cause.
How about
Golf tournaments or whatever it is.
How about giving back
It's
to
always
your
nice.
employees?
The school, what does that mean?
Well, like putting them through trainings that may not be directly related to the work, but
We do
we
that too.
improve them in their positions.
Or
that kind of
just
thing.
taking them out for a fun afternoon.
Yeah.
We're doing that Friday. We're going to Top Golf on Friday if you want to come.
You going where?
Top Golf.
What is that?
If you and Nancy want to come on.
Some.
We're taking a limo.
You're going to go and play. Is this like a golf course?
It's like
Or
a driving range.
Driving range.
But it's like a multi-story driving range that's
Oh,
also
yeah.
like a clubby type atmosphere. It's really cool. So we're going there for the afternoon for Friday. We're taking a limo. If you and Nancy want to come, let me know.
I'll let you know.
Okay?
God, I haven't played golf since I don't know when.
But yeah,
Long
I mean,
time.
that's giving back to them. Yes, they know that. That's giving them instruction and training, and I give them access to a business coach anytime they need it, and which doubles as kind of someone to talk to about whatever problems they might be going through or issues they might want to talk about. And
Yeah.
I just think the whole self is extremely important. And are we rewarded? Am I rewarded for it? I think so. I think it pays back double. or more. That's important. It's a holistic approach,
Yes.
and
As you mentioned,
culture
it's
culture
the
beats
blue ocean
strategy
approach.
for breakfast, right? Culture beats strategy any day.
Mhm.
And I think we've got a decent strategy and vision.
Yeah.
I believe in our vision, and we have a great culture.
Strong company culture, a personality for the company.
I hate the word company, but yeah, it's a strong culture. It's like an extended family,
Why do you hate the word company?
because it's just, to me, some kind of corporate type
I
word.
was going to say that. Is it too corporate?
Yeah, it seems corporate. Yeah. The company. It's where good souls go to die. You know? But yeah, I think sweat equity and networking and seminars, and there's a million different ways to do it. It takes time. It takes very little money comparatively. And there's no more efficient way to spend your time than doing free lunch and learns to every business in your nearest major metropolitan area, which you could do for the rest of your life. And how many business owners would you know, and how many clients would you get,
Right.
regardless of what you do?
And of course, with the way the internet is now, you can do a lot of this networking directly from your phone. You can do it in your car on the way to work.
I think the lunch and learn idea is just awesome too. By the way.
Webinars and
Webinars are good. I mean, you can film your webinar and just put it out. I mean, heck, you could charge for it if it's really good enough. You don't have to even do it over and over again necessarily
yeah.
live. I love the lunch and learn
record it
idea.
and send it out there.
I mean, you go to a major metro area and do a lunch and learn. Join the chamber. Put out an e-blast to every business that's a member of the chamber that you'll do a lunch and learn for their organization. Sit there and call them, ask them. You could, if you did one lunch and learn a week, 52 a year for different businesses. You have any idea how much business you'd get from that? I don't. It's ridiculous. For the rest of your life, you could do that and never hit all the businesses in a let's say you're in New York City. You can do one a week for the rest of your life and never hit all the businesses. You'll probably go back and do a lot of them twice. If you were doing some big companies and got in there, probably more work there for you than you could do in the rest of your life. There's just so much opportunity. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
But it takes effort, it takes time. That's where people fail.
And a lot of commitment.
Yeah. And some people don't find it fun to grind it out every single day when you're tired, to go turn it on in front of a bunch of people. Do it anyway. Suck it up.
Yeah.
That's what God made coffee for. It is.
That's a great name for a book.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, the more you can give freely. And social media is great. I mean, we do a ton on social media. But the work you put in face to face, I don't think you can replace face to face. It's still valuable. And people forget that. People forget that. Anything else?
I can't think of anything else. I think we've covered it.
Personal networking groups. Gosh, I mean, there's just so much there. Industry networking groups that are businesses that complement your industry. Partnering with those businesses to do events. There's just no shortage of things to do. In the community, in your community, large, medium, or small.
I mean, you would have your own department, or intend to have your own department that works purely regarding social media, getting the message out there.
I've changed the entire way that I think about leveraging services.
Mm-hmm.
The entire way I look at our company, at our firm. We're a social media company. We're a social media organization that sells legal services.
Yeah.
We're a media company. We are a media. I'm sorry, did I say social? We are a media company that sells legal services. Media could mean all sorts of things.
I like that idea.
That became really clear to me. And I have to credit Gary Vee for that. Because I think he gets that. He became a media company that sold wine with Wine Library. And I get it. And that's what we're doing. It's my job as CEO and number one marketer to provide enough work for myself, my staff, and other people that I bring on to replace me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my job.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Greg.
And that's how I view networking. In 30 minutes or less, because it was 26 minutes.